We're finally gonna do it. 100 men versus gorilla. Can it be done? Who are my top picks for this? And then I've seen some pretty impressive lists, and I might have to go back and make a part two to this. I mean, I'm definitely gonna make a part two to this because I'm not gonna sit here and list off 100 men, but I'll give you guys the fan favorites. Who the most obvious choices will be, and we'll throw in a couple wild cards because to complete this task, you definitely need some wild cards. So, without further ado, here we go. 100 men versus gorilla. First off, can it be done? I think so. I'm gonna say I know so. 100 human adult males versus one gorilla. Now, off the bat, I say about 20 to 30 of these men are gonna be dead or at least seriously injured, right? Because we're dealing with a gorilla here. But if we choose wisely, we could minimalize the casualties. All right, so let's get started. Who do we have up here first? All right, so this was my top pick right here. We got the man, Steve-O. Now, with a situation like this, the people you pick are very important, right? Obviously, you want a lot of these 100 men to be of significant strength, but that's not the only factor. We need to factor in brains, strength, wildness, strategy, um, health, amongst various other things. So here we have our first wild card. We need wild boys on the team. We need people who are just gonna jump out into action, right? The Marines, send them in first, right? They're wild boys. They get crazy. They get down and dirty. You think Steve-O's gonna be afraid of running straight at a gorilla? No. So he can be, one of our wild boys, definitely the wild card, and pretty much cannon fodder, right? Because he's built like that, and he's really about that life. So I think Steve-O is an excellent pick to be a part of the front lines, those people that you kind of throw out there. Not saying that, we don't like Steve-O or that, we want Steve-O to die, but we know that Steve-O, he is in fact a wild boy and he will definitely take the charge. Now, another key person you need to have on this team, right? Because you need to have majority boys, heavy hitters, heavy lifters, but you also need some wild boys, people that are fearless, right? And here we have young Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. This nigga was wild, right? You really think that this man has any fear? This man snorts fire ants and drinks his own pee. Of course, he's not going to be scared of a gorilla. So he's going to be a part of the front lines too. We're sending him out with Steve, okay? We need that strong front line, right? To just charge the gorilla and be that distraction so that our heavy hitters can come in after the gorilla has been worn down a bit to take him out. Okay, so we're sending in Steve-O first, and we got to send in young Ozzy Osbourne. There are definitely two key players. Now, like I was talking about the heavy hitters, the most obvious choice, right? You have to put heavyweight John Jones in. Okay, absolute psychopath. He even said himself he wants to be leading the pack. Oh my gosh, my pizza is finished. I think you guys. Oh yeah, my pizza's done. Oh, it's a little bit crispy. All right, so yeah, the most obvious choice is John Jones. He's going to be on everyone's list. And like I said, he even said himself that he wants to be out in front. What the heck is wrong with this pizza? Why does it look like that? That looks so weird. It doesn't even look cooked. All right, we'll try it. We'll see. Let it cool down a little bit. That okay? Maybe it is done. It just looks weird. All right, we got a pepperoni pizza, but it looks strange looking. So if you put John Jones out there, all right, obviously you got to pair John Jones up with Francis Ngannou. Okay, that right there, that's a deadly duo. You got Francis Ngannou and John Jones beating on this gorilla. He even looks like gorilla, so that would be kind of unfair to have like man and gorilla versus gorilla. But still, we're throwing him in there. Okay, like I said, we need the heavy hitters now. In addition to him, all right, this is a bit of a wild card, but like I said, you need some wild men who are just gonna jump on the gorilla, not scared to just run and charge. We need early 2000s Kurt Angle, right? Just bean popping Kurt Angle, right? Because this man was fearless. He was backflipping, landing on his neck, throwing himself out the ring. He's gonna go ape shit on this ape. Okay, so definitely Perk Angle is getting tossed in the 100. Now, an absolute menace to society. Like I said, strategic with the picks. You need 2009 Randy Orton. This man didn't care about anyone or anything. Oh, C-Sec said, "Come fight me. Come, let's go." I'm sorry, I don't fight women. And if we ever did fight, I'm not gonna comment on that. I don't fight women. Sorry, but I'll let my sister fight you. But yeah, we're throwing Randy Orton in there, right? Because this man was just completely unhinged. And if we're gonna take down a gorilla, that's what we need. Gorilla is at least like 5 times, the weight of an average man, right? Complete animal. But in order to combat that, we need animals on the team. This guy right here was a complete animal. Now, I try to keep it non-fictional, but Batman's a human, so we're gonna throw Batman in there, okay? And we're gonna throw an Arkham Knight Batman, okay? And if you're throwing in Batman, you gotta throw in Bane because I feel like if you send in Bane like last wave or even mid wave, that would be good because he can just come in after the gorilla has been worn down by like the other, 50 or 60 men and just break the gorilla's back. I feel like that would be a spectacle I'd really like to see. I would love for Bane to be a part of this team because he's just such a brute force, especially this Bane. All right, who else do we have up here? We got Bane. Like I was saying, the brute force. About 50 of these dudes need to be just straight solid meat men. Pause. All right, so any strong men you can think about, we're throwing Mark Henry in there. Okay, that's an obvious choice. We gotta throw in Thor. Okay, those are classic picks. We're gonna throw in what's his name? Eddie. Right, all the strong men. Throw them in there. Okay, you get a nice little circle of like 5 or 6 of them around the gorilla just to hold them down, and then we get another 10 guys to come over top and just drop kick him or just hit him, just drop the hammer fist on him. John Jones coming in there, kicking him in the shins, that side kick. That gorilla has no chance. Absolutely, he's not. That gorilla's done for. But yeah, we got to get all of those strong men in there. Yo, where? Okay, here we go. All right, so we got the strong men in there. All right, we're gonna throw Alex Pereira in there, right? He's a heavy hitter. We're gonna throw who's after Alex? We're gonna throw who's this? Oh yeah, you gotta get John Wick in there, right? Absolute madman. And the fact that he can never die, right? That just adds a bonus to the 100. Now, Star Lord, again, you got to think strategy wise because you need a good leader. You also need someone who's going to be funny and lighten the mood. Star Lord is perfect for this, right? He'd be the perfect leader for these 100. And also, he can fight too. And he's human, so he counts. And again, we're not using any weapons. This is just straight hands. Now, we included Star Lord because one of the concerns was is that at the start of this match, the gorilla is going to kill about 20 of these men. And that will kind of deaden the morale for the rest of the remaining men that just see all of these men before them get absolutely shredded to pieces. That's why we need to have great leaders. And that's why we need to have Mr. Beast on the team. Because we can just take Mr. Beast and put him to the side and he'll just sit there and hand out like tens of thousands of dollars to the next man, charging in line, right? Especially that initial front line. If we have like any of these men who just, instantly become cowards, Mr. Beast will be standing right there and just tossing money at them. Money is a huge motivator, and I think that this would counteract the whole fear aspect, right? Especially when you're throwing large amounts of cash at people. You're just like, here, 20,000, 50,000, run in there, all right? And then you got, crazy people already like free. But even for, those, couple of characters that are just like, you know what? I don't know about this. I kind of like living. Throw a little cash at him, right? He might change his mind. We need Shia LaBeouf on the team, right? Because he encapsulates the just do it mindset, right? And he would be a great motivator for the entire team. Also, we know how serious Shia LaBeouf takes things. So he would get so into taking out this gorilla that he might even believe that he is a gorilla. We know how deep and serious he takes on all of his movie roles. It would be the same with taking out this gorilla. He would be an excellent choice. Now we got David Blaine. Okay. I don't know what he's going to do, but whatever he does, I know it's going to work and I know it's going to help, right? He's going to create some sort of illusion. He's going to be a key component to really getting the strategy down pat in order to take out this gorilla. Again, I don't know how he does it and I don't know what he's going to do, but he's on the team. We definitely, if Steve Irwin was still alive, obviously he'd be on the team. But R.I.P. He passed away. We got to get his son on there because maybe through this strategy he could find some way to kind of calm the gorilla down or tame it or get really close to it so that we could sneak him from some sort of angle. His son is definitely on the team, a key player. Now, a part of that initial wave of those first few men that we're gonna send out just as cannon fodder, definitely gonna be Jeffrey Epstein, okay, Diddy, and we can even throw R. Kelly out there, okay. Not really fan favorites, but these type of characters are needed on the team because you have to expect casualties and you need distractions. Okay. So put these guys out first. All right. Throw him in there too. Okay. Send them out first. Let them get pounded on. Right. Pause so that the gorilla is distracted. Right. If he's using right and left hand for Diddy, right hand for Jeffrey, then someone else can swoop in there, one of the strong men, and catch him off guard. That's all these people will be used for. We can also use him as cannon fodder too, right? Not really a fan favorite, but I think that he will be beneficial in creating that plan to take out the the gorilla because of his high IQ and his intelligence. he can be a very good asset. But after he's done crafting the plan, he's not going to be sitting in the back somewhere. No, put him on the front lines too. Cannon fodder. Tony Robbins definitely needed, right? Like I said, in case any of these men, get scared last minute, we're gonna need some serious motivation. And if we got him hyping up the team, giving us the most amazing halftime Super Bowl, football speech that we've ever heard, oh, everyone on the team's gonna be fearless. Everyone's gonna be rushing in there. We're gonna take this gorilla out if we got him being our coach. Ah, I think my pizza's about. Yeah, I'm about to. Another wild card. We got Steve-O in the game. Got to throw Johnny Knoxville in there. In fact, you can probably just throw in the whole Jackass crew at this point. Jeff Hardy. All right, whatever the plan is, he's got to be stationed like somewhere up high, like in the tree somewhere, like at least like 30 stories up. And once we have those strong men, you know, holding down the gorilla, about 7 or 8 of them, we just get Jeff Hardy just the swanton bomb, dive off the top of this tree, and just straight feet land right on the gorilla's neck, right on his head, right. That's who we need right here. Jeff Hardy all day. We're gonna need Joe Rogan to commentate the whole thing, so he's part of the 100. Also, he's like super good at jujitsu, so I mean he could hop in there too, send him like second or third wave. We're gonna need Pope Leo the 14th, to say the prayer and also be a part of that, spiritual motivation, to get everyone, in the correct state of mind to take out this gorilla. Extras, go grab some random sumo wrestlers. We're gonna need as many big boys as possible. And hey, along with the wild cards and all the crazy people, we need people who just love to fight. We need people who just love to throw those hands, who just got so much heart. Aaron the plumber, throw him in there like second wave and just, let him go crazy. He wants to run the fade with anyone. I don't see why he would run away from a fight with a gorilla. And the same goes for these next picks too, right? We got four extra, right? The Fade Monster, who said that he would run a fade with Space Monster, right? Him, just like Aaron the Plumber, they don't care about nothing. All they live for is the fade. Put them in there first wave, man. Let him go crazy. He just loves to fight. I love where his head is at. I love his heart. He's just fighting just to fight. That's just who he is. He's built like that. Also, we need a zombie on the team. It would also be good to have like a team of zombies. Like at least 10 of these 100s need to be just straight zombies. Nate Diaz has 100% like infinite durability. He's not going down. No matter how hard that gorilla hits him, he's still going to be standing. He can still fight. He's a zombie. We need that on the team. Put him in, coach. Elon Musk can get in there. He's kind of a big dude. I'm not really relying on him for his strength, but more of his intelligence to help us craft the best strategic plan in order to take out this gorilla. So he's on the team too. Also, throw Magnus on the team. All right, he's going to be a part of the intelligence. Not everyone on the team is going to be there for their brains. Like I said, some of them are cannon fodder, some of them are just brute strength, but a few of them are going to be there for their intelligence to help us really win this. Again, C-Mac is not there for his intelligence. He's really not there for his strength. He's there just to fight. I love where his heart is at. He loves to fight. He wants to squabble with any and everyone. Send him in their first wave to take out that gorilla. In addition to all of the crazies and the wild cards and the people who just love to fight, put C Nova in there. Have y'all seen C Nova scrap? Have y'all ever seen him back down from a fight? No. Again, I love where his mind is at. He's not a fighter, he's a dancer. But if he has to, he will throw hands. And he has hands too, right? And that would just be a beautiful thing. We got Aaron the plumber, four extra, C Mac and C Nova all throwing hands on this gorilla, that would be a beautiful thing to watch. And I'm sorry to say, that gorilla is not lasting long. So, those are my top picks for the 100. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out of here.